You know, one thing that a lot of people don't talk about is just how many absolutely ridiculously awesome designs there are of Batman in Lego Batman 3. In fact, there's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or even 10 Batmans in this game. There are
21.
Yes, indeed, 21 Batmans in this game, which is absolutely stunning. There are 21 different epic unique designs for the Dark Knight himself, and on today's video we're gonna go on ahead and rank them. Let me know what your list looks like in the comment section below. So let's begin at number 21. This is one of my least favorite designs in this game. Obviously, I just think it looks very goofy. It almost looks like he's wearing one of those like 3D glasses that you would get back in the day at a movie theater with the red and blue, except they forgot to put in the blue and they just left it red. For the next one, we're headed under the sea or the ocean, or I guess any body of water, because this is Scuba Batman. And one of the things that I find the most annoying about this design is not really how it looks, it's more about how it sounds. Why? The next design almost blends in with the actual scaling and the texturing on these rocks, but it is Zebra Batman. It is such a bizarre looking Batman. Again, some people might find this design to be very cool and unique. I will say this much, it is very, very memorable for sure. It's one of the most memorable looking costumes without a shadow of a doubt. I really don't think you could go on ahead and argue with that. But overall, I just don't think that it's all that great looking. For me personally, the aesthetic of it is just kind of mid. The next design is quite bizarre, or maybe I should say Bat-Zar, because this is of course Bat-Zarro. I mean, you've got everything upside down just like you would expect with Bizarro, like for example the actual bat logo on the chest. The one thing that I don't really understand is how does that utility belt work, because all the items are obviously hanging down upside down, so that seems very impractical. The next entry on this list is probably going to be the first of many controversial ones, but that is the Dark Knight Returns costume. So of course, just for scaling comparison, as he rudely interrupted me, letting me know that he is the Knight, here's regular Batman right next to him, so you can see kind of a nice little scale comparison between the two designs. It's cool to have Batman in big fig form, but I just think that this aesthetic did not translate very well, and it doesn't really scream to me Dark Knight Returns as much as it just looks like Batman in big fig form. The next Batman can fly, but not only can he fly, he actually does have the power of Sinestro, for this is Batman, the Sinestro Corps costume. I actually quite like this design. The yellow and black is just a really cool color combination, so it really works quite well, but I just think that there's a better Green Lantern, or I guess Lantern Batman, spoiler alert, that is available in the game as well, although this one does look quite cool. The next design is Gotham by Gaslight. I actually really enjoyed the animated movie that they made for Batman, Gotham by Gaslight, but I just think that unfortunately it doesn't really translate into Lego form as well as I wish. Kind of makes it seem more like a really simplified, almost like Halloween costume of Batman, instead of the actual kind of Victorian look that Gotham by Gaslight actually has. The next one on the list would be the Batman that would actually face off against Blade from the Marvel Universe, because this is Vampire Batman, which is very, very appropriate for Halloween time. It definitely is a really cool looking design, particularly the print work on the face. Plus, I really like the super elongated ears for the cowl. I think that looks really cool. I'm not a huge fan of the kind of baby blue color scheme for the costume. I wish it was maybe a bit of a darker blue overall. Still looks really cool and makes it quite far up on the list. Entering with an absolutely brilliant sonar blast, this is the Sonar Suit Batman, and this is one of the coolest looking designs overall. I almost really like the helmet kind of has that Dark Knight Returns sort of vibe of the armored Batman design, which is kind of what I wish that big fig for the Dark Knight Returns would actually feature some helmet design like this one, because I think it looks super duper cool. This is one of the original designs for this game, and this Sonar suit is absolutely brilliant. It's time to freeze, because with the next bat suit that we're taking a look at, this is the Arctic Batman. As you can see, he's looking pretty stylish indeed. He's pretty much rocking the Mr. Freeze freeze ray blaster that you would go on ahead and see Mr. Freeze typically utilize. You can go on ahead and freeze your foes, to a certain extent your friends too if you'd like. So that is a feature that you could go on ahead and implement. It's a very useful costume in this game, and it also looks really cool. The white and the gray comes together quite nicely to create a cool, no pun intended, look for the Batman. The next pick is going to surprise many of you, because if you know me, you know that The Dark Knight is my favorite movie ever. So the fact that I took the Dark Knight suit and placed it only in 11th place is probably quite shocking to many of you. But I just think that, unfortunately, by comparison to the other suits, this one looks kind of basic. There is no print work on the legs, on the arms, on the hands, on the cowl, so it just does not scream as much detail and doesn't have these really cool elements to it that some of the upcoming suits do. It's time to power up, because the next design on this list is none other than the electricity suit Batman. And my goodness, what a way to kick off the top 10. This is one of the absolute coolest looking designs ever in any Lego game. Forget about just Batman. I just love this design. I think they captured so many cool elements to this particular look. It really communicates what the suit is, and it looks awesome. The next design we're taking a look at is Ariel Batman, and we do have to take a look at it inside the moon base, just because that is the place where you can actually figure out a lot of the details. Because the one complaint I have with this design is that for some reason it has really weird reflections of the light in many of the different hub worlds, so you can't even see awesome details like the bat logo on the chest, the pouches on the utility belt, etc. Those things are kind of very difficult to spot otherwise. Now, one thing that isn't difficult to spot is that ridiculously awesome cape / wing design, plus of course the glowing red eyes. Hey, remember last time that we saw Batman flying? I mentioned something about the fact that there's another lantern design that is absolutely wonderful. Well, here it is. This is, of course, the Darkest Night Batman, aka Green Lantern Batman, which turned out absolutely incredibly epic. I am so happy that they did include not just one Sinestro Batman, but the fact that they did include the Green Lantern Batman as well. In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight, because this design is quite all right. For the next design, we're headed to the past, way to the past, with the 1966 or the Adam West Batman variant. This is so freaking cool to see. Of course, this makes now for an incredible tribute to the character and the actor of Adam West portraying this character. It's so cool to see this particular variant captured so well. The cowl being such a great replica of what the actual cowl looked like. The logo, all the details that you would want and expect are all present. The next Batman is a super cool pick indeed, because this is the Zarro costume for Batman, which has actually been a pretty prominent character recently in the comics as of 2022, which is super cool to see the return to this particular variant of Batman. I've always really liked this design. I know some people don't like it just because it's so busy. It has so many different colors that seem to kind of clash. And some people in the community like to title this one the Mustard and Ketchup Batman just because there's so much red and yellow on this suit. I quite like it, and I think it looks really cool. Now, I don't mean to go on ahead and once again bring up The Dark Knight Returns, but to me, the power suit for Batman is a much better rendition of Batman as he is seen in The Dark Knight Returns. I think this is one of the coolest looking designs ever. Legitimately gives you kind of Blastoise vibes. I mean, think about Batman crossed over with Blastoise, and the fact that you can go on ahead and launch these rockets from his suit to destroy silver Lego objects, and quite frankly, any other object in the game, is pretty freaking awesome. I also really love the details on the visor. The fact that it's constantly kind of scanning is a really cool attention to detail. Now, speaking of flying Batman suits in this game, this is obviously the coolest one in my opinion, because if we take a look at this design, this is known as the Space Suit Batman. I just love this original suit. The fact that he has this giant jetpack that goes on ahead and unfolds these really epic looking wing designs that obviously have this very kind of cybernetic feel to them. And then the actual rest of the costume is just really cool looking as well. This, in my opinion, is the coolest upgrade suit that Batman has in this game. And speaking of Batman, of course, I had to go on ahead and feature the actual default look for Batman. This obviously has a bit of a Batman New 52 sort of vibe. I definitely think they captured that element. However, I really do like the design overall. I think that it almost pays a bit of an homage to modern comics, old school comics with the shorter ear design. But then in addition to that, we still do go on ahead and have almost like a bit of an inspiration from something like The Dark Knight. And so I know what this makes you think. Blitz, what the heck else could you possibly feature at this point? I mean, you've already showcased just about every Batsuit that I could think of. Well, there are 2 more left, so stay tuned. If you're enjoying the video so far, though, if you can, take a quick moment to hit the thumbs up button. I would really appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. And without further ado, let's take a look at this design, shall we? This is the Batman from Brave and the Bold. I think the Batman Brave and the Bold is one of the coolest love letters to Batman. It does such a great job of bringing in all these characters from the DC universe, going on ahead and advancing a really cool story around them and Batman. And this design right here captures that costume perfectly. This is a very classic looking Batman without a shadow of a doubt, but I think it turned out wonderful. There is something to the simplicity of this particular costume and just how well they went ahead and captured all those details. And so this brings us to number 1. And if you know me, I am very much a Batman purist. So we have to go on ahead and go all the way to the first appearance of Batman in Detective 27 or Detective Comics 27, and we have to go on ahead and pay an homage to the original look for Batman. How freaking cool is this? So many years after its release, we get to go on ahead and pay an homage to that original look from Detective Comics 27 with this astonishingly beautiful redesign in Lego minifigure form. So there you guys have it. That concludes the video showcase for today. 21 different bat suits that we've taken a look at. Let me know which ones you like best, which ones you like worst down in the comment section below. I know many of you guys are not going to go through the trouble of listing all 21 of them, but if you are up for the task, go on ahead and do so in the comment section below. At least let me know your top 5 best and top 5 worst. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. See you laters, alligators. Bye, guys.
It's pretty cool that I'm alive and have better days. I could walk, see, hear, I should celebrate. Think I could change my mind, maybe elevate. Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Yeah, all I need are some better days. Cause all I want is the better days.